Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of On to the Next One. We are so live with the matchmaking crowns back on our heads following UFC 323. A very good card I'm still kind of buzzing about. A main event performance that I'm going to be buzzing about for the next week, maybe more. So much happened at UFC 323. A lot of good, some great, some kind of disgusting and nasty and unfortunate. It was an emotional roller coaster ride, that UFC 323, the final UFC pay-per-view, at least for the next 7 years. And time to do some matchmaking. I'm Mike Heck, and joining me to do exactly that and react to what we witnessed at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas last night, the co-host, the co-matchmaker, the Prince of Positivity, my best friend, the one and only Alexander K. Lee. AK, how are we doing on this Sunday, this day after UFC 323?
Hello, everyone. Hello, my best friend. We are just feeling good, man. What a fun card. What a fun card. Good looking card on paper. We said it. I think we said it the whole time since this one was finalized. This is a hardcore fan's delight. And I think for the most part, even if you had some casual buddies over to watch, I think they would have been pretty thrilled with what they saw. I mean, it started off a little rocky on the prelims. Like I was making a joke with I was telling you guys on Slack, I was like, I can't believe they just showed a highlight reel of like Merab Dvalishvili's failed takedown attempts in the first Yan fight. I was like, that is crazy. And then imagine having friends over for that who are like, oh, I've only seen a couple of UFC cards. It's been a while. I want to see what's this like. And then that reel comes on. They would just be like, what the hell am I watching? What are we doing? But it proved oddly prophetic for what turned out to be like an absolutely incredible main event because, Petr Yan's takedown defense was even better in this fight. He was just better overall. Awesome to watch. This card was so close to a 10 out of 10. I think we were almost there. Obviously, you have to take some marks off for, some really bad luck for Alexandre Pantoja. Really happy moment for Joshua Van, earned his spot. But yeah, I don't think we can look back on that and say it was the crowning moment for Joshua Van. When it could have been, I think he had a chance to win anyway. And the way Pantoja came out in classic fashion looked like we were going to get another great Pantoja fight. Just didn't work out that way. But otherwise, top to bottom, great storylines. Contenders coming up, lightweight just on fire. I mean, as always. But boy, we had some real up and coming contenders. Top 30, top 25 guys moving up closer to a top 10 spot. It's really exciting stuff. I don't think there was a bad fight on the card. I'm just looking up and down now. Like
the two like not great fights. I mean, outside the Pantoja one, but even then, like the 29 seconds of action was incredible up until the injury. Marvin Vettori, Bruno Ferreira was not one I'll probably go back and rewatch, but it wasn't a bad fight.
It wasn't bad.
The third round was very fun. The last two rounds were kind of fun. And then Macy Barber, Karine Silva, if we look at it like outside the emotional lens, not a terrific fight. Not one we're going to go back and rewatch, but everything involved, Macy coming back after all that time, everything she's gone through to go in there and get a win, basically steal one from Karine Silva, who cheated her absolute ass off that entire fight, and Macy still came through it and won. Like, very cool moment. Other than that, like every fight, dude, Jan Blachowicz, Bogdan Guskov was fun.
Yeah, it really was
fun.
It was.
And it went 15 minutes. If I told you a week ago that fight's going the distance and it's going to be fun, you would not have believed me. You probably wouldn't have believed that Payton Talbott versus Henry Cejudo was going to be a whole lot of fun. That was very fun too. Really enjoyed that fight. And then when Tatsuro Taira did Brandon Moreno, was friggin' sick. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then Petr Yan's performance is an all-timer in the main event. I think it's one of the best title championship performances I've ever seen.
Awesome.
It's top 5. At worst, it's top 5. It might even be higher. I have to like kind of rank them out, but still so blown away. I cannot wait to rewatch that again without like anything going on around me and just appreciate that even more for what it was. But great event. It exceeded the pretty high expectations that you, I, and Jed and others put on it. I said like I don't think it'll be UFC 199, but there's outside of like major announcements, and we got a bunch of announcements too. We got the 325 announcements with Dan Hooker and Benoit Saint-Denis. We got Rafael Fiziev and Mauricio Ruffi. Obviously, it's not Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2 and Brock Lesnar coming back, but still, like, it had UFC 199 vibes to it, where anyone who purchased it and watched it was like, yeah, I think I got my $85 worth. And for those who didn't watch it, it was like, I'm going to skip this one. You're looking on Twitter and social media. Fluffy versus Strickland, another one that got announced yesterday. You're probably like, shit, probably should have watched that one. You're sitting with a little bit of regret on this Sunday morning that you didn't get to partake in the action. So, yeah, good stuff, man. I love jumping on a Sunday morning and talking about a card being really good.
Some real faux MMA, fear of missing mixed. It's gonna just give me a second. I'm working. It'll catch on. Yeah. Someone definitely was missing out because it was a great show. I honestly didn't even mind the Macy. I actually say I'm a big like Macy fan because I always say like she is over that line of like, I say some people are fighters and some people are mixed martial artists. Some people are both, but some people don't have that fighter grind. Like that's just who Macy Barber is. Like because I think there's a lot of moments in this fight where because Karine kind of put her in some bad positions and Macy sometimes just like brute forces her way out of stuff. So I thought that was exciting. Like I didn't mind that. Like again, like you said, there was no like bad fight. I don't think there was one bad fight in the card, and then she had the storyline as well.
Yeah.
Gosh,
the thing that killed the Macy fight was Mark Smith sucks. Like he sucks crazy at his job.
It was a glancing. Badly. It was a glancing blow, Mike. What you complaining about? Dude. No. He said. No. You didn't get. You're not hurt. He said. You're not hurt. No.
That's not even the worst part. That was the second worst thing that happened because what happened like 45 seconds later is the doctor and Mark Smith are asking her how she's doing. She's like, "Yeah, I'm still really dizzy." Mark Smith's like, "Okay, get back into it, fight." I'm like, what? She was dizzy. She needs a second. Mark's like, "No, shut up. Get in there and fight. Stop being a wimp." Unbelievable. And then she went and tackled her like seconds later. It was kind of fun going back and thinking about, but I don't know if this is going to be like a super easy show to do or not.
It is.
It's going to be interesting. So let's get right to it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the main event. What capped off the show? Petr Yan, as I mentioned, this is an all-time championship performance. He was the challenger. He was a massive underdog. This to me, without question, is the performance of the year in the UFC and probably in mixed martial arts. This is better than Islam Makhachev's win. This is better than Anthony Hernandez's win over Roman Dolidze, which I thought was the performance of the year. The reason why this is so impressive, and this is why it takes the top spot from Fluffy Hernandez and Islam Makhachev, is we expected Fluffy to go in there and just run over Roman Dolidze. We didn't really expect like to the level in which he did it. And most people expected Islam Makhachev to tackle JDM and beat him rather convincingly, and he did it a little more with the expectations, a little exceeding the loftiness of it. No one saw this coming, AK. Nobody saw it. No, I'm not saying nobody expected, no one picked Yan to win, because I saw people, being crafty and picking Yan to win. But nobody said that Petr Yan was going to go in there and beat the shit out of Merab Dvalishvili and mark him up and hurt him not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. Had this man reeling, had him hurt. Nobody saw this coming. This was the performance of the year in MMA. In my opinion, this is one of the 5 best performances I've ever seen in a championship fight from anybody. This is a high regard performance. But now, AK, it's 1-1. Merab thumped up Yan in the first fight. While Merab was competitive, and this is super fun, one of the 10 best fights of the year, Yan kind of dominated. I thought he won all 5 rounds. None of the judges agreed with me, but I thought he won 50-45. It seems like we should just go ahead and run this one back. But Petr Yan is like, nah, bro. I had to go back and win 3 more fights before I could go fight for the belt. How about Merab fights Umar, and then whoever wins that fight can hop in the jacuzzi and then come fight me after. So thoughts on Jan's comments about not wanting to run this back? Because I think he's insane for not saying, let's do this right away. Because now this is one of the 5 most intriguing fights the UFC can make right now after how everything went down last night. Are we just immediately going trilogy, or could the UFC mix things up? If Umar goes out there and just beats up Davis and Figueiredo in a bad way at UFC 324, could the UFC call a little bit of an audible and do a number 1 contender fight first? Or are we going right to Yan Merab 3?
First off, shout outs to you mentioned Mike who thought Yan could win this, and I think we all like had a blueprint for how it could go. I don't know if we thought it would play out in such spectacular fashion, but I think we all thought he had a chance. Like most of us were picking Merab just logically. He beat him the first fight, felt like he could copy that. So there was some, but yeah, who was really confident Yan would win is a very few people. One young man who I will say I spoke to. Shout outs to the young man Tavoy who's out there. Hopefully he gets a chance to watch this. I spoke to some young man. Petr Yan, his favorite fighter. I spoke to this kid earlier on Saturday, and he was telling me Petr Yan's going to win. So if you're out there, You showed me. You showed us all. Well done. I hope. I mean, I have no problem with making with Yan and Dvalishvili 3 not happening right away. I prefer it. Obviously, that is my pick. I'm just saying run it back. That's my official no pick. Because I imagine I'm comfortable running it back because I imagine both guys will probably want to take time off anyway. Like I would like to see Merab not fight again in the next 3 months. I think burnout was a real thing. That was one of the storylines going in. It played out. I mean, he still looked good at times. It didn't look like cardio was an issue. But if you're Merab and you want an excuse, yeah, listen, you were probably a little bit off. Probably weren't as sharp as you could have been. You fought 4 times in a calendar year, defended the title, prepared for that many 5-round fights, cut weight that many times. People were saying they didn't love how he looked on the scale on Friday. Like he didn't look. He looked kind of normal, but it was just like it's always a hard cut for him. So there, there's that excuse. So he may want to take time off. And if I'm Yan, I would wait for him. But if you're Yan and you just want to get paid and you want to defend in somewhere in the first quarter, first 4 months of 2026, I don't know. I don't know if he takes stuff because it still sounds like he wants to wait, right? If he's saying that Merab and others should fight for their spots. So I just say run it back. It might not be first 3 months of 2026, but I think that's where they should go, even if it turns out to be like a summer 2026 thing.
This all worked out like terrifically well for Petr Yan because not only did this fight happen and not only did he win, I mean, they went through hell, both of them, even though he just battered Merab and Merab looked like a different human being when this fight was over. But neither of these two guys, even Merab, as freakish as he is, this dude ain't fighting until the weather is like consistently in the 80s. He's not fighting until the summer. And that gives Yan some like really interesting opportunities. As Lazy Bet and others pointed out, if Sean O'Malley goes out there and just dusts Song Yadong, like a win is not enough. He can't just go out there and win a 29-28 or a 30-20. He needs to beat the brakes off Song Yadong and finish him and do a highlight reel and do the fadeaway celebration. All these things need to happen. If that happens, he's getting the title shot. They're going to do Yan O'Malley 2 for the belt. They're just going to do it. And then Merab will get the winner. And that's it. And I would pick Yan to beat Sean again. I thought he won the first fight. I don't think the second fight goes particularly well for Sean O'Malley, but because I think Merab is going to take a break, and I think everybody around Merab should basically tie him down, feed him obviously, and give him hydration stuff.
Keep him bathed. Yes.
Yeah. Let him work out and stuff. Like lock him in a gym somewhere so he could train a little bit. But this man should not be thinking about a fist fight for quite some time. At least June, July, International Fight Week. The White House card should be over and done with, and we should be like, all right, Merab's about to make his 2026 debut. That's what we should be talking about. So I would love to see this one run back. I hope that's what we get next, but do not be surprised if Sean O'Malley sneaks in there. But it's got to be a spectacular performance against Song.
Umar, if he beats Figgy? Figgy would be a weird one because we just saw him. We saw him fight Petr Yan. And look, we just saw that maybe rematches don't always go the same way, but Figgy for sure would. I mean, if Figgy and O'Malley both won, obviously it's O'Malley all the way. If Figgy and Song both won, probably still Song. They might throw him in there for a fresh challenger. But then if Umar wins and Song wins, then I guess it's Umar. But if Umar and O'Malley win, probably still O'Malley. Or I guess it depends how they get it done.
It's got to be O'Malley or Merab. That's what it's got to be. It's got to be O'Malley earlier than Merab is like ready to come back, or they're just gonna hold off and do Yan Merab. I don't think Umar unless Umar's just like, I mean, he's got to do something spectacularly special to just jump. Can you imagine if he just jumps Merab for a title shot after Merab beat him like at like 60% of his capability? That would be rough, dude.
Merab's got to chill. Merab's got to chill.
It's insane. I don't see that happening. So
O'Malley technically would be jumping Merab too, and O'Malley Merab's beaten him twice.
Yeah, but Yan would actually like want that fight. Yan's gonna call for it.
Of course.
So,
and I'd love to see that again. We've been calling for that rematch for a long, before Yan got the time. We've wanted to see them run that back because that first fight was so awesome. I hate that sometimes the narrative is like, oh, it was a robbery. It was a close fight. It was a close fight. If you scored it for Yan, I have no problem. The most important thing was like, damn, that was an amazing fight, and win or lose. like O'Malley definitely, I thought, leveled up there. Like I think that was the fight. I still remember following social media that night and being like, most of it was positive for O'Malley. It was a lot of like, whoa, like O'Malley's like doing way better than we thought, and he rocked Yan, like, yo, O'Malley's legit. And then he won a close decision, and Sonny was like, oh, it was a robbery. I'm like, how did this happen? Where did this come from? Like O'Malley's legit, and that fight helped him a lot. So I do hope they run it back someday, and for 5 rounds would be amazing.
For anybody who did not compete yesterday, Sean O'Malley's the biggest winner of UFC 323. Without question, he's the biggest winner. Now he's got to come through in 7 weeks' time and beat Song Yadong. If he just goes out and like wins a competitive decision, he's going to be fighting Umar next. And that ain't going to be great for him. This is going to be a terrible night for him. So that is Merab 3 is my choice. It is your choice as well. But don't be surprised if a pivot happens, if Sean O'Malley does an old school O'Malley performance. Co-main event, AK. Joshua Van is the new flyweight champion of the world. It did not go the way he would have liked. It did not go the way anybody would have liked. It was an unfortunate way to go. I'm going to reiterate something I said on the post-fight show, and I got a little bit of flack for it. I woke up to a bunch of DMs giving me a whole bunch of shit about this, but I'm going to double down on this right here. Joshua Van legitimately won the flyweight title yesterday. It was a legitimate win.
Sure.
This is not... If the fight started and Pantoja slipped and fell and broke his elbow, it's not a legitimate win. Joshua Van created that chaos. He caught the head kick. Pantoja was off balance because he caught the head kick. It's unfortunate that he fell down in the way that he did. It's nasty. And F the UFC for showing us that angle, the replay in 700 different angles. No one wanted to see that, you sickos. I don't know why you kept doing that. Again, it sucks ass that it went down like this. I would have loved to have seen this fight play out, and I cannot wait to see it again. I don't know how long Pantoja's going to be out for, AK. I just don't know. So, are we waiting to run this one back, or did another individual in this division somehow sneak in to get the shot before Pantoja gets his run back?
Mike, can I ask you?
Please.
Yes, he's uncontroversially the UFC champion. Is he the number 1 flyweight in the world? We have not done. We will do our divisional. So we will do our divisional rankings like a year-end one, probably sometime after the last UFC card of the year next weekend. I think for the sake, I'm gonna feel some a little behind the music here. I feel for the sake of like clarity or least controversy, maybe. I may have to put the hammer down and say, guys, we're all just putting Van number 1 because he won. He's a UFC champion. But maybe we shouldn't do that. Oh, you're shaking your head, Mike. You think? No, will you keep Pantoja ranked number 1?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I will.
Interesting.
And again, there is a sprinkle of flukishness to this.
Yeah.
But again, Josh Van created this. Him catching that kick and putting Pantoja off balance, that is why the injury occurred. That is why Pantoja fell the way he did. That's why he was off balance. It is because of what Joshua Van did in that moment that caused that to happen. So that is why I grant this as a legitimate title win. It is not.
It is.
It's not a farce win or a farce championship victory. That banner deserves to go up in his man cave without question. Having said that, that's the kind of backlash fallout to all of this is that when the pound for pound rankings come out, Josh Van is going to be in our pound for pound rankings, at least in mine. But he is going to be several spots behind Pantoja. And when we do the divisional rankings, he's going to not be. I don't even know if I'm going to put him at number 2, AK. I don't know. This might be the toughest ranking individually that we've had since we started doing this.
We've never had a situation like, I think even when Aljo won via disqualification, I can't remember. I don't think everyone put Aljo number 1. If I have to look back, I'm pretty sure he wasn't a unanimous number 1.
We had the most heated ranking show ever because of that. Because it was just like, dude, he cheated and broke the rules. He deserved to lose.
Right. He deserves to be penalized. He has to lose something, right? Beyond just the title, maybe even his ranking.
But then there was the other side of like, wow, Yan was thumping Aljo. Like he was cruising. He was on his way to winning that fight. We left that night feeling that Petr Yan was still the better fighter because a lot of that fight played out and Yan was the snowball going downhill. And had that moment not happened, Yan would have won that fight pretty convincingly. But he didn't. He lost. And it was a clear loss because he cheated and broke the rules. This is so weird, AK, because he did cause the injury, but I learned nothing from the fight. Like I got nothing from it, and it's a bummer. And obviously it's a great moment for Josh Van and his team and all of this, like seeing him celebrate with his mom and everything. Like that was awesome. Seeing Daniel Pineda so happy after all the shit that guy's been through to like be able to hold a UFC title because his guy won it was awesome. But again, I learned absolutely nothing here. So I want them to just go ahead and run this one right back, but we just don't know how long Pants is going to be out for.
I had no issue with the celebration. I
didn't either. I didn't think it was that bad.
That was far less offensive than Bruno Ferreira missing weight by 3 pounds. And then he was celebrating like he won a UFC title when he won a fairly like nondescript decision over Marvin Vettori. That was the most offensive celebration of the night. God, goodness. I don't even think he apologized for missing weight. I may have missed that part. I know Myron Santos did, because I mean, he's an Ultimate Fighter champion, all class, all the way. I don't remember Bruno Ferreira apologizing for it. Missed weight by 3 pounds. He looked terrible. He looked terrible on the scale. I mean, good for him for getting the win, but it's terrible. So yeah, I have no problem with that. I just we need to make it really clear, and it's a bit confusing because if people look at our rankings right now, yes, obviously all the number 1 fighters are UFC champions. That's just kind of where we are right now. PFL has fallen out of relevance. Bellator doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, the guys, the majority of the best fighters in the UFC. That's just how it's been for a long time, and now all the number 1 ranked fighters. But we have to remind you, the whole reason we have independent rankings is that we don't want to be that, oh well, the UFC champion is automatically number 1. And we just had that recently with Tom Aspinall and John Jones, right? We had Aspinall number 1 for a long time, even when John Jones was undisputed number 1. So this is another situation where Josh Van is the champion. Mike, as you said many times, he deserves it. He'll go down history as a champion. One day he'll lose it. He'll be a former flyweight champion forever. But that does not mean he's necessarily the best flyweight in the world. So I'm curious what people will land on. I put up a little poll up, so we'll see what people think. Again,
this is
UFC champion, yes. Number 1. I don't know.
This is not Jamal Hill winning the light heavyweight title. It's not that. Like I think we had Jamal Hill ranked 9th at light heavyweight.
That was a lot because of me, by the way. I will say I ranked him low.
It was not like a paper championship, but it was like pretty darn close. Just because of the circumstances. It's not his fault.
And that's a perfect example. He earned the title. He earned the title. He was given an opportunity to fight for a title. He will go. Jamal Hill is forever former UFC light heavyweight champion. No one can take that away from him. That is on his record officially forever. But does that mean he was ever the number 1 light heavyweight in the world? Guys, come on. Yeah. What are we doing?
I will say this in terms of the matchmaking, because I just, if I'm going on my gut here, Pantoja's not getting Van first. I think he's got to be. That injury was so nasty, man. I think he's gonna be out for a while. He's gonna be out for a while.
Pantoja is rest and recover. I didn't do a matchup for Pantoja, Mike. He's rest and recover. I think we agree.
Yeah,
it's Taira.
It's Pantoja versus whoever has the belt.
Yeah,
like that's whenever he comes back, that's it.
Yes.
As Sean O'Malley was the guy who didn't compete, who was the biggest winner. Kyoji Horiguchi is the guy who didn't compete, who was the biggest loser.
Ah, gosh, why'd you remind me?
Because that fight makes him fighting for the belt makes absolutely no sense unless Pantoja's the guy. Like it just makes no sense. You can't do it. He cannot jump over. He can't jump over Tatsuro Taira, and he certainly can't jump over Manel Kape if he beats Brandon Royval next week. So I think they're going to go and do Taira. I don't know if it happens in Japan. I kind of hope they run that one like relatively quickly. Right. Like if they do something in April, or like, dude, throw Van Taira as the co-main event to Holloway and Oliveira. Like that's sick. That's so incredibly sick. I would love that.
Mike,
so I think Taira gets it first and Pants gets the winner.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Give me some lines here. Give me some lines here. Okay, let's say it's Taira. What is the line for Taira versus Van, or Van versus Taira? So.
I think Taira's the favorite.
Taira's the favorite. I think MMA math. I think Van will be favored. There's they both fought Royval. That's the thing. I think that they both fought Royval, and that Moreno win was damn impressive.
Dude, he killed Moreno. Like
that was damn impressive.
That was unbelievable. I'll say I would favor Taira slightly.
Okay, that'll be a slight one.
I'd say like minus. I wonder if they actually have opening lines for this already. I would say like I'd do like minus 140 for Taira.
Okay.
What do you think?
I am just playing the asker here, Mike. I don't know. I don't really have. I'm not. I'm good at setting lines. I know. I played the line setting game. I disagree. I think okay. If I have to, I think Van would be slightly favored, but it would be close by the. I think a lot of money would come in on Taira if that were the case. Because I think I think Taira might open at like plus 125, plus 150. So a lot of money would come in and definitely move it. Maybe it ends up closer to like both guys either pick them or like minus 110 versus minus 135. So anyway, Mike, what about if it's Cop? What if, let's say Cop Royval actually happens. Let's say Cop. It just seems unlikely, but just annihilates Royval. You know how Cop is when he's on a great night. Like, oh, he just looks like the best flyweight in the world. Let's say we get that version of Cop, and he either wins just a awesome like 5-round decision, just dominates Royval, or actually finishes him. Where would you line that one?
Van versus Cop.
Yeah, Van versus
Van
Cop.
minus 160.
Oh, you think there'd be a lot of confidence in him still?
Oh yeah. Cop's just so inconsistent.
He is.
Oh, by the way, there are opening odds.
Oh, what do we got?
Taira minus 150.
You're right.
That was close. Close.
You were right. Wow.
Shout out to betonline.ag. Taira minus 150. Pantoja minus 185 against Van in the rematch.
Okay.
Petr Yan minus 185 against Merab plus 160.
Damn.
Golly, man.
What? Yeah. These lines shift quick. What is Van then? Is he plus? What's Van plus against
130
against
plus
Taira?
130 against Taira.
Man, I would take that. I would take that. I really would. And I like Taira a lot. Interesting. And last one. What if? And I know we said this sucks because this isn't going to happen. It makes no sense to make this title fight. Kyoji.
Van minus 200.
You think Van's heavily favored against Kyoji?
I don't think it's like heavily, but
oh wow, I actually think
it's just because he's young, and Kyoji, as much as I love him, he's old.
But you don't think he's viewed as better than Cop and Taira?
I don't know, because he beat Tagir, who's good.
Tagir's good.
He's good, but not great.
Damn.
You know? He's good, but not great. Like,
well,
it was a good win. Like, it was a good win. He beat his ass.
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do. And the UFC kind of saw this one coming, right? Because, like, why bring him back to, like, feed him to Ulanbekov? They saw this coming for him to, like, make his move. And maybe I think they're plotting this beautifully. Now they got Dana White going to the press conference saying, like, hey, let's go to Japan now. Like, Gooch is part of this whole equation. It's part of the situation to go there.
Yeah.
So this is a strategic move. But you have to make Gucci fight again. And give me Horiguchi versus Brandon Moreno. Just give it to me. That fight absolutely slaps. I want it. Despite what happened last night to Moreno, that's the fight I want. Give me Horiguchi versus Moreno, and if he wins, he fights for the belt.
I would. It sounds like I'm down on Joshua Van, but I just feel like I wonder how confident people are, because I would take Gooch at, like, if he's like plus 150, plus 25, and if Gooch is like a 2-1 underdog to Van, I would bet that in a second. I wonder. I'm very curious to see what the public confidence is in Van. But I mean, you already said apparently if it's Taira, looks like they're leaning a little bit towards Taira. So yeah, I don't know.
He's a freak, man.
Congrats to Josh Van, man. What an insane story.
Oh,
what an insane. Sure. Like, he debuted in 2021. Pantoja was almost 30 fights into his pro career when Josh Van debuted. He wasn't even close to, like, being in the UFC. I think Pantoja was coming off a win over, like, Cop or something. Like, it was crazy. Like,
and people want to give Kamaru Usman a title shot. Josh Van's like entire career's happened since, like, Usman got, like, before Usman's last win prior to the Buckley win. Is like Van's entire MMA career, including the title win. That's
true. There's some people have contextualized it in so many crazy ways this week. Like, if you guys listen to No Bet Spar, I know Long Island Luke. I think he had a running joke the episode, like, this is what this person was up to. This is what happened during blah blah since we last saw since Joshua Van debuted. So I don't know, man. It sucks that it went down the way it did, but it's still a nice story, you know. And I do hope they get to run it back, if only for both guys, right? Because Pantoja deserves a shot at redemption. And Van gets a chance to prove that, hey, maybe he is the number one flyweight in the world. We just don't know definitively for sure. You know, we cannot say that for sure yet.
And yes, I want Horiguchi versus Moreno because it's like a fantasy matchup. It's a dream fight for me that I've wanted for so long. And if we don't do it now, we're never going to get it.
I have no problem with that.
I think if Moreno loses another fight, I think he's going to be done. So I want to just see them cash that now. So just go ahead and do it. Just run it.
Could Moreno? You don't think he could give off like some Petr Yan vibes? Remember Petr? I feel like there's a similar arc here, right? Petr Yan had that tough 3-fight losing streak, and I think, and Moreno's not a losing streak. Sorry, not on a losing streak. Sorry, he just had a 2-fight win streak snapped. But sort of in a slump, theoretically out of the title picture, depending how their next fight goes. And of course, Petr Yan won 3 straight, came back and beat Merab. Moreno, like even the two fights in that streak were close. I still think he beat Pantoja in their trilogy fight. You can make an argument for the Rival fight as well. So I just don't know if he's as out of it. And like Yan, just like a lot younger than people think, right? He just turned 32 today. Happy birthday, Brandon Moreno, as we record this. Yeah, a lot of years competing, but Yan was the same way. So do you think, is there the chance for that arc, Mike, where he gets a title shot, maybe not this year, but fights his way back to 2027 and still has a chance of being end again?
No.
Really?
I don't. No.
I don't know.
If we were gonna do that, like it's Petr Yanish, he needed to beat Taira.
I don't know. If he beats Gooch, let's say they do the Gooch dream fight. He beats Gooch.
He's gotta win. He's gotta like beat Cop next. Like he's gotta beat.
I'd like a chance to beat Cop.
He's got to beat some good dudes, man. It's tough. It's a tough.
Put a pin in this, guys. Put a pin in this. I don't know, because we never counted out Petr Yan. If you can go back and look in our shows, we never counted out Petr Yan. Mike, I know you didn't either. I don't think. I think we always had a caveat for every loss. We were like, either was one of them was Merab, but he just got Merabed, and that fight has aged in an interesting way because we just saw him win the rematch. So he's won. He looked, if you take all 10 rounds of those, you could make a strong case that Yan is just looked like the better fighter overall. Certainly did a lot more damage. So we made the case for him. I'm starting the case early for Moreno. I'm not filing. I haven't filed a case, Mike, but I'm doing some early research. I'm doing some discovery here. And let's put a pin in this if that Horiguchi fight happens, which would be amazing. If he beats Gooch, guys, all you Assassin Baby fans, we'll talk about this. We'll gather and we'll start putting the data together and saying, what does he have to do next to get on that Yan redemption arc?
A lot.
He's only 32.
Go fight Kyoji, man.
He should. That's the one. In Japan? Oh man, I did it in Japan. Oh my god, that card is so hype.
Payton Talbott, AK.
Oh.
We're jumping all over the place here.
Yeah.
Payton Talbott beat Henry Cejudo convincingly. Very fun fight. Cejudo
so
went
good.
on his shield. Respect. And good win for Payton. This was so easy to me. I'm putting myself in the UFC shoes, and there's only one fight you can make right now. It's Cheeto Vera.
Yeah.
It's Cheeto.
My first instinct, we got kind of a legend killer thing going here.
What's that?
Got kind of a legend killer thing going here, I guess. It's a ranked guy too, top 15 guy. Like if they're trying to move him into the top 15, that's the way to go. Was my first choice, but I leaned away from it, Mike. I leaned away from it. Only because I just don't want to overdo the legend killer thing. Like I know it makes sense. He's the young gunner. We had him fight a veteran, not a legend, I would say, but a veteran. Jaime Barcelos didn't go his way, and now we're sort of back on track. 2 straight wins. Felipe Lima win was also great. I want to erase a previous duty pick for one thing. I had the stupid Montel Jackson, Daniel Marcos rematch, which made no sense. I kind of want to see him fight Montel Jackson. It would, I get it. Huge drop off in hype and storyline from the Cejudo thing. I mean, I know a lot of people would be like, there'd be a lot of who's Montel Jackson. Ooh. I still like Montel Jackson. I still think he's a tough test. I have him in my top 15. I think he's also, I want to say he's 12 or 13 in the UFC's official rankings. Let me glance real quick. No, I'm crazy. He's not ranked because he's Montel Jackson, and he dropped a stink bomb in his last fight.
They gave him the chance. They gave him the fight, and he was just like, "Nah, I'm just not going to do anything."
Mike, we can't.
Last 2 minutes.
We can't do this again.
I can't do this.
We can't do this again. It was guys. Listen to our post fight or on to the next one show that we were so. I think you and I actually did the post fight show after that card, and it was like, oh god, we were so sad. Such disappointed parents of Montel Jackson.
Yeah.
Disappointed dads.
I don't love the Montel fight because he could go Montel could go out there and beat him.
Sure, he could,
and that's just so bad.
That's okay.
Oh no, it's not okay. You can't. He can't lose now.
I'm not invested. Listen, in the we have to build Payton Talbot as a title gunner. I still think he's in this phase where he could stand to win, lose, learn from some fights. I don't need to vault him into the top 15 after beating Henry Cejudo because Henry Cejudo sucks. I'm so sorry, guys. You know what?
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm just keeping some of the same energy.
Drop kicking this
Mike,
man on the way out the door.
You and I have had this energy for many years since the comeback. But no, if we're being honest, yeah, Cejudo looked great. Listen, he was just fighting a younger, faster, bigger guy, right? Because Cejudo was landing some shots that I don't know in his prime in a different day might have actually hurt Talbot more. Cejudo, I think, has one of the all-time great chins. Like I don't know if we talk about it enough. I mean, even his one knockout loss was the body shot, right? The body shot to DJ. But as far as like taking just haymakers, Cejudo's really, really tough to hurt. And I'm so happy for him that he got to go out the way he wanted to. A loss that he can look back on with pride. So really, really good for Cejudo. We poke fun at him a lot. And, it's a classic love him or hate him situation. You have to respect how he went out. But to me, that win doesn't merit like giving Payton the hard push. I know that's a fight a lot of people saw. So a lot of people might have seen Payton for the first time and be like, yeah, this guy's legit. Let's push him to the moon. Like, give me a couple more. Give me a couple more 10 to 20 guys. And I know that includes Chito Vera, so I'm fine with it. But like, I'm just not ready to go wild on Talbot yet. But he could be a future champion, a future star.
I saw some people suggest you should fight Corey Sandhagen. I'm like, are you?
No.
You are the highest people I've ever seen.
No way.
How dare you?
He's not ready for that yet.
No.
He's not ready for that.
Chito seems perfect because of like all the ranked dudes that he could fight right now. This is probably the most winnable for him. Only because Chito doesn't like to actually do anything in fights these days. It's very strange watching this man compete. But still like does just enough to stay competitive in every fight. It's very, very, very strange. There's two other names that I'm thinking about. I think Rob Font would make sense, but I could see Rob going out there and just beating Talbot. Like there is a world where that happens. I will say if we're not going the ranked like super duper vet route, thoughts on these, AK?
Mm-hmm.
Payton Talbot versus Bryce Mitchell.
I, as a rule, just don't matchmake for Bryce, given his shenanigans, which is probably a really nice way of putting it. But yes, no, that makes a ton of sense. That makes a ton of sense. It was on my radar for sure.
And here's the other one, AK. Payton Talbot versus Patchy Bix.
I was literally looking at that name. How dare you? How dare you? You are on the older fighter sacrifice tour. You are a sick man.
I mean, just ring. Literally just ring whatever's left of Patchy Bix out on the altar of Payton Talbot.
No, we're turning Payton into eccentric Paddy Pimblett now. We're gonna get those stupid ass graphics. People are like, here's the record of Payton Talbot's last 3 opponents. Oh,
yeah, but we're not. Like, we're past the building Patchy Bix to a contender.
No, this
stage.
is true.
It's over. Like it's dead. It's dead in the water.
That's fine.
Like, do you want to ring out whatever's left by giving him to Farid Basharat? Which is fine. Like Farid's good. Or do you want to give it Payton Talbot, who can like gain something even more from this? And you could build up him into a star in a lot of ways. So
I'm being patient. I'm being patient with Talbot. I like the guy a lot.
So Patchy's then Patchy's good.
I just don't know if that does anything for him, though. I don't know if that win means anything anymore.
He'll smoke Patchy.
I know, but again, I'm telling you, you're going to start getting Patty talk that he's like, oh, he's just being protected, and they're just giving him older guys who haven't won fights in X amount of years. Like I don't agree with that. Like, because I don't agree with the Patty criticism either. I actually think Patty's resume is stronger than people like give him credit for. But people who frankly like just don't watch the fights or just don't care will point to these numbers and say, oh, they're only putting up against guys who can't win fights anymore and blah blah. And that sucks because I don't think that's true. Because like I said, Cejudo looks great on Saturday. But these are the narratives that you risk creating if you keep kind of putting it with Chito Vera as well, right? It would be with Chito Vera as well. It just has not looked amazing, right? So I get it. I get giving him names because you're right. You could totally build Talbot into a star really quick with like within the next 18 months. Like we're talking a guy who could be in the top 7, 8 if you give him the right names. But I don't know. I don't feel the rush. I don't feel the rush to do that yet. But he looks real good though.
Yeah, the Lima win was great. Because that was like a tough fight, man. Like,
yeah. Sorry, I see people saying in the Lima. I saw some of Lima. Yeah, I'm not counting Lima in this. Obviously, I'm not counting Lima in this. I'm just saying I don't want to start this trend now with like Cejudo and then Chito and then grab some other old Patchy mix. I don't know. Like I don't want to start that trend.
Yeah, and just to be fair, to like kind of devil's advocate this thing, Payton was offered like a lot of dudes for the MSG card, like a lot of like up and coming ranked guys. said yes to all of them, and everybody else said no. Everybody else.
There you
So
go.
like after saying yes to multiple ranked contenders, some of which don't have high volume name value, they were like, all right, go fight Henry. And he's like, bet. I'll take that. Sweet.
And this worked out perfectly. This was beautiful
100%.
This was beautiful matchmaking.
It really was.
Honestly. Even if Cejudo had won, it would have been a really nice moment, right? Like I hopefully Cejudo would have stuck to his retirement even if he won, because then so few people get to go out and win. So that would have been really nice. But I think it worked out for the best for the UFC's future. Obviously, having Payton deliver the way he did, and again, look, it was not a sad performance by Cejudo. He didn't beat some whipped mule here and like just send him away. No, man, Cejudo made him earn that shit. That was impressive stuff. So, Mike, I guess we're not going to do the last fight. So now's the time to say older fighters winless on the main card. Winless on the main card, man. Like even the main event. Merab's a couple of years older than Petr Yan. So 0-4-1. Obviously, we're not matching for Blachowicz and Guskov. So Blachowicz, 42 years young, but about to be 43 in February. Couldn't get the win.
I was so proud of him last night. I had so much fun watching that because Jed's entire fantasy hopes was riding on Bogdan Guskov.
That was so funny.
And Jan dropping him at the end of round 3 was like the best. I had so much fun.
Immediately said in our Slack, how did I get no points out of this somehow? Like he was like, how did this happen?
Incredible.
But
so incredible.
Moreno is 7 years older than Taira. Pantoja is 10, 11 years older than Royval. So damn, man, the young guys showed out, and it was a rough night for the older fighters. It was a rough night for the older fighters. That's how it goes, man. It's not a young man's game, especially the lighter weight classes, right? This card was kind of a showcase for the lighter weight classes, and it tends to tilt towards youth. Saw a lot of that. Saw a lot of that Saturday.
Let's go to the wild card round, AK. So one fighter not match made for yet, and let's match make for him right now. So who'd you go with?
Mike, I feel like we should have done a separate segment just on the lightweights. Right. I mean, these guys showed out, Manuel Torres, Chris Duncan, Fares Ziam, the returning Jalen Turner, somehow still fighting 155. I'd love to see him move up, but I have a feeling he's sticking around for at least one more fight after that performance. He beat a veteran, right? Talk about, again, another older fighter who went down hard. I picked Fares Ziam out of this mix. I think he's my favorite to be a lightweight, like actual title challenger in the somewhat near future. I would go, if I do a power ranking, Ziam, Torres, Duncan. No, Ziam, Torres, Duncan, Turner. You could definitely sneak Turner up a few spots higher. I really want to see more of him in his out of retirement state, whatever that means. He was gone for like a normal fight length break. So I'm going Ziam. I would love to see Ziam get the winner of the just announced Fiziev Houthi fight that's going down at 325. I would love to see him fight that. And if he beats one of those guys, man, Ziam's top 10. This guy's so legit. He's so well-rounded. He's a finisher. He can grind out decisions. I think he has all the makings of a guy who could be top 5 and fight for a title someday. But I don't know, Mike. I don't know if you went with one of the other 155ers because those fights were spectacular.
If Fiziev beats Houthi and then has to fight Ziam, that's just ridiculous. Guy steps in, fights Gaethje, gives him a competitive fight. Then he has to fight Baha Mondays, Houthi, and Fares back to back to back. That's wild. Absolutely insane. I'd watch the shit out of it, but wouldn't be my my go-to. But yeah, lightweight rules. It's the best division in the sport. It's one of the toughest divisions in all of sports. I just went with kind of the low-hanging fruit here, and I don't just supposed to just threw this out, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the same thing. You have to do Macy Barber versus Erin Blanchfield. You have to do it. Erin, as good as she is not super interesting. There are very few times where everyone's like, oh, I have to cancel my Saturday plans to watch Erin Blanchfield fight. And I'm not saying this to that she's a bad fighter. She's just not over. She's just the hardcore fans know her and appreciate her. She has no casual appeal whatsoever. And there's no real other fight that interests the fan base that Erin could be involved in more than Macy because of the history. And for Macy, it's really two options here. If you're the UFC, you give her Blanchfield, which is a rivalry fight and a competitive fight and an interesting fight. I would pick Erin Blanchfield to win, but I would like to see it. Or you give her Menon, and Menon is going to literally eat Macy Barber. That fight is not close. Menon absolutely mollywops Macy Barber in a fist fight. Like that, if Menon is not minus 300, I am betting everything on her. It's just such a one-way traffic fight after what I saw. And I know she's coming off the long layoff and everything, but like Karine just like kind of out hossing her at certain points of that fight. Like Menon is just gonna kill her. So I don't want to really see that fight. Like kind of looking at the Macy perspective. Now if Macy goes out there and beats Blanchfield and like does it impressively, sure, then I'm a little more into the Menon fight. But if you just throw her in there with Menon, it's gonna go real bad, man. It's gonna go real bad. And I know I'm gonna tell you right now exactly what Macy's gonna do. She's going to call for Rose, who's already booked, or she's going to call for Alexa Grasso, who is hurt, and we don't know when she's coming back. That's who she's going to call for. She should have jumped on that microphone and said, Aaron Blanchfield, I'm coming, bitch. And then, like, boom. Because even if that fight, like, doesn't happen, even if Aaron's like, no, I'm not fighting you after everything you did, the perception is Aaron is avoiding Macy. Mm-hmm. That's the perception. Sure. That's everything has changed in just one call-out.
You dodged the bullet, Blanchfield. Dodged the bullet last time, Blanchfield. Yeah, sure.
After all that.
Yeah. So. Lazy Bet saying, I do not want to see Barber versus Blanchfield 2. Not one iota. You didn't see Barber versus Blanchfield 1. It didn't. We didn't see it. Didn't happen. It got booked. It didn't happen. We're hours away from it happening. But
yeah. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And that's a lot of fun. All right. For the next, I don't know, 12 minutes or so.
Yeah. Mike, let me read a listener message. I owe this person a message. Let me put the prompt out here to tell people send us your picks, guys. Send us your picks. So let's let that populate a little bit here. I know some people have already sent some in. Keep it coming, guys. I just want to say our pal Zach Schultes, he wants the no points. Which normally points. Yeah, well normally I wouldn't care. This was actually he sent me this last week, but this man had timestamps and quotes, so I'll read this real quick. Zach said, I'm sure a lot of people have requested no points for the booking of Figgy vs. Umar. How many are coming with quotes and timestamps? Excuse me, guys. After the Rio card, I booked Figgy versus Umar, win, lose, or draw. After Bautista, most people are booking either loser of the fight or booking the matchup for 321. My direct response, Mike, apparently was, Zach, I hate this even more. I'll be honest, I just don't like it. I apparently was very against Umar versus Figgy. I don't know. Maybe it's the timing wasn't right for me. But you know what, Zach? You were right. Take your point. That's pulling a receipt right there. That's checking the tapes. This man literally checked the tapes, and I will definitely deserve a point.
Nice. Jimmy Lloyd wants a point for the People's Main Event of the Year at UFC 325. Jimmy says, and I quote, I can't tune into Otno Live, but I demand, in bold letters, I demand my points now that the curtain jerker of all jerkers, Finney versus Malkoon, is official.
Stop it. This man, did you go back and check the tapes? Did you look back and did he like quote tweet himself or quote his own message or something on Instagram? And this man predicted Finney versus Malkoon.
Apparently.
That is demented. Who's this person again?
Jimmy Lloyd.
Jimmy Lloyd, you're a twisted sort, my friend. I'll just say that you're a twisted sort. On
his debut.
Stop it.
AK, his debut. The Welcome to the Party, pal. April 6th, 2025. Otno picks. First time Otnoer, but long time listener. Be gentle. Lerone Murphy versus Volk Lopez loser. Sabatini versus Woodson Ige loser. Lee versus Ione Barcelos, Tavares versus Joe Pyfer, Ode Osborne versus Subaderji, Finney versus Jacob Malkoon.
That is
unbelievable.
Incredible. And that might end up being the worst fight of 2026. Non-heavyweight division. Non-heavyweight division. That would be maybe the worst. And I love Torres Finney, but boy, they keep finding just the funkiest matches for him. This is A+ work. I don't know if it was Sean Shelby or Mick Maynard or Dana White himself who came down on high and put this one together, but sterling stuff. I cannot wait for that
April 6th, he put this out into the universe.
April 6th?
April 6th.
What?
His first ever Otno submission. He predicted Torres Finney versus Jacob Malkoon. Unfriggin' believable. Standing ovation. You get the point.
Jesus,
you get the point. Left Lane wants a partial point to Not going to be able to make the show for time reasons, but claiming my small portion of a not no point for Hooker versus BSD and probably a slightly bigger portion for Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson.
Sure. Yeah, I think we saw Hooker versus BSD was a very popular pick. That's true. So everyone out there who picked that, we see you. Shout out to you. Well done.
Yes. All right, let's party here. Tristan, Nazim Sadikov versus Chase Hooper. Manuel Torres, Ignacio Bahamondes 2. Chris Duncan versus Jalen Turner. Fereziem versus Renato Moicano.
Fereziem. Okay, yes. Sorry, I was just saying. I want to see how far was the big Bahamondes fight. Last year.
Was that Noche? First Noche card?
First Noche. Yeah, it's still a little too soon for me, especially since I think both guys have a lot of interesting matchups. I'd love to see it again. Both guys are great fighters. I mean, super exciting matchup, but I think you can kind of keep them away from each other for now. So, yeah, I don't want to see it against him.
Manuel's on a nice run. Bahamondes is lost.
Yeah. Great fight.
Yeah, he lost to Fiziev. Yeah, let's give Bahamondes some. Bahamondes may not be long for lightweight to begin with.
Mike, can you see this? Well, sorry, we'll read this one next. David McCaslin, Dominic Cruz versus any good MMA takes. Can we talk about this? And I know this is what he. Hold on, let me put it this way. I know this is what Dominic Cruz wants. He wants this exact one. He wants us on our podcast talking about his takes, talking about his show. He has his own podcast now, which, by the way, his podcast is actually pretty excellent. I mean, he's had some home run guests. I mean, seeing him in Faber, seeing him in TJ. And Aljo, obviously, it's like just really cool to see him with two of his rivals, and then a guy like Aljo, who's always pretty. I think doesn't have the best takes, but has a lot to say in a podcast for sure. But the TJ and Faber podcast are both awesome. So congrats to Dom. I actually think his podcast is really good so far. We'll see when the rivalry guest runs out if it maintains it, but I think he's very good job. He does not need to do these kind of takes to get attention to himself or his podcast. If anyone didn't see, he essentially said Pantoja should have been able to continue, or at least given the option to continue. It was very weird. I did not understand did he not watch the fight or something? Like, it was Pantoja himself who clearly looked at the referee and was like, "Oh no,
he stopped it.
I'm definitely hurt. I'm clearly hurt." It's December, and we somehow got like the worst MMA take of the year. Like, that was crazy.
I couldn't once that was brought to our attention on the watch party. I couldn't avoid it.
That was crazy.
The best part, and Jed said it, I'll credit him for this. The best part about that tweet was the spelling of allowed.
Oh, he did ALOUD?
Oh yeah. That's so
reckless abandonment. Reckless abandonment, Dom. Dom, you are a great, you are great. You're a great mind when it comes to MMA. Don't do this. Don't become one of these take guys. Please do not. You don't need to do this.
His show is so brilliant because everybody hates him. So he'll always find rivals to be on with. It's really, really a great gimmick. Ugh. But then they grow to respect him. You have a conversation with the man and then you grow to respect him. But this wasn't even a bad take. It's hilarious. It's really hilarious. And seeing everyone just rip him to shreds. And I respect the shit out of it because
we're talking about it, Mike.
He still hasn't deleted it.
And he won't.
He won't delete it. He's gonna triple down on this. It's the best.
Got to tune into his podcast to get his reaction to our reaction. There you go.
Yeah,
it worked. It worked.
He's setting this up beautifully. Anakinski wants Klein versus Duncan. It's a good fight.
Yep.
Bozis is Petr Yan versus Ayman Zahabi. You know what, Joseph? There's one. You are now the third. You're one of three people in the world who want to see this fight, and I'm talking about it's you, Ayman, and Faraz. No one else wants this. I think
our pal Aaron Bronstetter is also kind of interested in it. I think because he talked
colleague, I don't even count
he talked to Ayman.
I mean, what am I saying? Like even if I didn't agree with it, I'd still be like, yeah, because that's just who you're supposed to be as a colleague and a teammate. But come on, we're not doing this right now. I didn't want to see him and Zahabi fight Payton Talbott at this point, because he might just go in there and just beat him. One more win for Ayman, and I think he's there. Gerard, Yan Merab 3, Van Tyra, Moreno Kyoji, my man, Talbot Vera, Torres Moicano, Duncan Turner, Ziem Bahamondes, Iwo Ion. Again? We're just running it back?
Iwan
Kuchalaba.
See how confusing it is with Iwo and Iwan and Ivan and I don't know what they're doing playing heavyweight.
Barboza, Jim Miller. By the way, Jalen Turner versus Terrence McKinney is my everything now. I have to see this fight. I think that's actually perfect. I think it's actually perfect.
I don't know who I saw last night. I think it was probably some random tweet or reply or something, but it was like, oh, Terrence McKinney's the kind of guy, like, he's never going to be a contender, blah, blah. You know, I don't give up. They should sign Terrence. They should sign Terrence McKinney to a 10-year contract, a 10-year no cut contract. 2, they should sign 20 more Terrence McKinneys because the dude is so just, you know exactly what you're going to get. He is we call a lot of people get or get got guys, Mike. He is the get or get got guy, number 1 in the last king, 2 years. Like I think his last 7 fights all in the first round. You know exactly where it's going. People were, I think Jed was calling Chris Duncan crazy because he just like kind of stood with Terrence McKinney. He's like, yeah, like bring it. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell is Chris Duncan doing? And he almost paid for it. He got hurt like real bad. But again, Terrence is never going to fight safe. He's always going to, if he sees a chance for a finish, he's just going, man. And we love that about Terrence. So I hope, health permitting, I don't want this guy to have long-term health issues. So health permitting, I hope Terrence gets to keep doing what he's doing. He's just so fun to watch. I love every time this guy's in the card. Yeah,
Terrence beat Ferez.
He did.
That's such a great win.
Great win.
That win is aged spectacularly.
Man.
Yeah, I love, dude. I gotta see. Give me Turner versus McKinney. It's incredible. Torres versus Moicano or Beneil. Van versus Taira in Houston. I wonder where you're from, Brandon.
No, but I mean, I
wonder where you're from. He guarantees he's from Houston. He's
sure.
He wants a title fight. He found out they're going to Houston.
I know.
I mean, they booked Sean Strickland, Fluffy Hernandez, but you know, Van versus Taira would obviously jump that as the main event. I get where you're coming from.
I would love Van because you know Van fights out of there as well, right? And I would love for him to get a title fight, but it's not a pay-per-view, right? Houston's not a pay-per-view, right?
It's fighting.
Man, they got to start putting title fights back on these fight night cards, right? Because you and I keep saying Aspinall, right? Aspinall's got to defend in London. If he, it doesn't sound like it's going to happen because of the eye, but if he were able to, it would have made so much sense. But God, they're so adamant. But maybe the Paramount era will be different, Mike, because it's just like it's not really selling pay-per-views anymore. Yes, there's numbered events and then there's fight nights and everything else. But why do we need? Do we need to keep such a hard line still? Like I don't understand why does the UFC still need to keep such a hard line and say only numbered events get title shots? Like I don't know. I don't get it because I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Duke, Torres versus Gamrot in the Mexico main event.
Ooh, I like, yeah.
Mr. Main Event, Mateusz Gamrot. How about that? Duncan versus Dariush.
Give me a line, Mike. Give me a line for Duncan Dariush.
Duncan minus 175.
Damn, it
should be higher though.
Honestly. It's it for he's at the end, isn't he? Mr. Dariush.
I mean, Duncan just has to touch him, and that fight's over.
Oh gosh, he has been knocked out a lot at least lately, hasn't he?
I mean, Dariush BSD hit him with like 10% of his power and killed him.
Oh.
It was pretty wild.
That's a good matchup. Good matchup.
Duke also likes Turner versus Padilla, Nazim versus Rebechki. God, Nazim versus Rebechki. Can we do Rebechki versus Grant Dawson? Can we give this man like a little bit of a breather from like getting hit in the face really hard? Like, can we just do that? Pretty wild. A lot of Dom Cruz love. Marvin Vettori versus Izzy 2. It'd actually be Izzy 3 extra N.
Oh, how soon we forget. Extra N. Man, but Marvin's in a weird place. Like, I just feel like he shouldn't have even had to take this fight. But that's no excuse. I get it. He agreed to fight. He lost. You know, it still counts. But man, boy, 4 straight losses.
He should have taken it because that's about as winnable of a like. Yeah. That's about as winnable of a fight as there could have been for him.
True.
And he just like he Cheeto Verried a lot of that fight.
Yes.
Where he like when he did stuff, he was successful, and then he was just like, eh. And all you could hear watching the fight, like outside of it got to a point where I couldn't even hear the commentary anymore. All I heard was the ATT coaches in Marvin's corner just screaming at him to do stuff. Like I felt bad for Marvin to some degree. I'm just like, these guys are just screaming at him. How can he even focus at this point? But yeah, he's in a really weird spot. But I don't think he's like super expensive, and he's not in like hasn't been in like an awful fight in a while. I mean, the Roman Dolidze fight was pretty bad, but he got fight of the night on a card headlined by Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. That's got to tell you something.
The Apex needs main events, Mike. The Apex needs main events. You know, when Dana's sitting at his lavish home in Las Vegas, not traveling on the road, you know, he loves to watch himself some Marvin Vettori headlining the Apex.
DC cackling like a schoolboy during Evo versus Ebo is hilarious. I've been pretty clear. I don't love DC doing color anymore.
Yeah.
I just feel like he is so distanced from like what the sport is now. But the reason why he sits in that chair is exactly this exact thing.
Yes.
He was all of us watching Evo versus Ebo. Like, nothing to say, just laughing belly laughing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I love that. And that's why, like, every time I get a little down on DC, I remember moments like this and I'm like, yes, it was so good. Spectacular stuff. What else we got? Marvin Vettori should be cut. How dare you? Vettori versus Costa build-up, still one of my all-time faves. Yeah, that was insane.
And the weight class is completely being changed. Man, Vettori's had to put up a lot of crap, I'll tell you, with some of these opponents.
Barboza versus Drew Dober.
Oh, it might be time. God, the older veterans edition, right? Man, it might be time. Someone's gonna get hurt real bad. That might be a loser leaves town or loser hangs up the gloves. I know neither guy would say that going into the fight, but man, I don't know how much more damage some of these guys can take. They have been in wars, absolute wars.
The Jim Miller idea, I didn't mind either. So, all right, I think we've done our thing here.
We did.
We will obviously have more discussion on this card, but we will be back next week. Our final Otno of 20. Oh, our final matchmaking Otno, because we're rolling into my favorite time of the year on this program, the predictions extravaganza, which is a two-parter. My favorite part is going back and listening to the year's prior prediction show, going through all of our buy or sell takes, predicting who would be champions, etc., seeing who did the best. And then this is where you guys all come in. A lot of you have been doing this throughout the year. Start compiling your very interesting buy or sell questions for prediction show heading into 2026. Make them fun. Not just, will Conor McGregor fight? Buy or sell Conor McGregor fight?
Sell.
Yeah. I mean,
John Jones.
Look,
sell.
like
I've sold that stock for the last like 3 or 4 years, and I'm rich. I'm rich in no dollars. All right, I'm selling every time the over under on how many times will these guys fight. No.
Yeah, like let's have some fun with it. Someone submitted a question earlier that like it's not gonna make the cut because of the timing. It was like someone wrote something to the extent of, what number will be higher? A game that's the amount of 3 Steph Curry hits in a game, like most, or how many takedowns Merab gets against Petr Yan. Like that's the kind of stuff like we're looking for. So submit them. You know how to do that. You can do them on Instagram, hit up our emails, things of that nature. And then next week, we're talking UFC. Is this 112?
Vegas 112.
Vegas 112. Back at the world's most famous Apex. 10 p.m. main card, by the way.
Never again. Never again. Literally never again.
Which is great. Brandon Royval and El Cop, at least the slated main event. Co-main event, Giga Chikadze versus Kevin Vallejos. Cesar versus Cesari.
Okay.
Almeida versus Oleg Zaitchuk. We got Morgan Charrier versus Melky Costa.
That's really good. That's a really good fight.
Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Marcus Buchecha.
Soon to be replaced by Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Marcus Buchecha after Kennedy suffers a seriously injurious like stubs his toe or something, and then fine. Like that enjoy his holidays.
That'd be the funniest fight of all time. Amanda Lemos facing Team Heck's own Jillian Robertson, who is playing with House Buddy here. This is great.
This should end up on the main card. Can we put this on the main card instead of? It is on the main card. Okay, I have to see. They probably haven't finalized yet. This better be on the main card because
I think it is.
This fight actually has stakes, like meaningful stakes.
Joe Anderson Brito versus Melsik Bagdasarian.
Oh wow, another good fight. Okay.
Speaking of a fight that should be on the main card, how about the UFC debut of Yaroslav Amosov taking on Neil Magny?
That's next week.
That's next week. Sean Sharaf versus Steven Asplin. One of those guys get hurt. Waldo is just a phone call away, baby. Luana Santos versus Melissa Croden. Women's bantamweight is coming back, folks. Alan Fry versus Guilherme Pat. Don't know who either of these two guys are, but they're fighting.
Sorry, guys.
And Teresa Bleda versus Jamie Lynn Horth. A lot of Canadian representation at the Apex AK.
Guys, if you like betting overs, these prelims, oh my God, it might be you might just, if you want to parlay 7 prelim overs, you might honestly like this is wow.
Three.
At least the first
fights.
the first 4 fights, man. This is boy, and Amosov and Magny. God, I mean,
unreal.
Damn. Anyway, that's, you know what?
Not bad.
Kind of intriguing, and
not bad.
I think we said this earlier this week, but like kind of the nice little. This is the way, you know, to end the year. We're just sitting back. We're just kind of chilling, you know.
Yeah. After what happened at 323, I don't give a shit what this card looks like. I really don't. I had so much fun last night. But we'll match make. We'll get your suggestions one last time for 2025, and then we'll roll into prediction season. So for AK, I'm Mike Heck. Thank you so much. Thank you for following along with our coverage. Shout out to the great Jose Youngs, who travels home from Las Vegas tomorrow, for all his hard work. And we'll see you next week here on to the next one, the podcast.